let's call the meeting to order at 5:30. Hello. Oh, hello. And let's do the roll call. Miriam Plunder here. Judy Murphy.
Here.
Megan Richards is not here, is a remote. Nona Chiarello.
Here.
Teresa Coleman.
Here.
Sarah Gilbert. Eliza Lowe. Here. Peter Waltz. Not. Jörg Zimmermann.
Yep.
And Chris Morris is here, our latest aspiring member. But you don't count yet on the roll call. All right. Oral communications. Does anybody have something here in the room? Well, first of all, the committee that is not on the agenda. Nothing? No guests? Anybody online? No. Okay. Then let's move on to the.
Marianne, will you confirm that Megan's on?
Yes, she's on.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't have exercise class today, so it's going to be difficult. Let's approve the minutes. Did everybody have a chance to look at them? Any changes?
I have one extremely picky,
Yes?
extremely picky. Next meeting date is actually January 6th, not January 2nd.
Thank you.
I move that we approve them as amended.
Second? Can I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Abstaining. Okay. All right. Then let's move rapidly to the first big issue. Well, hang on, I'm on the wrong page. Select and prioritize the 2026 tasks and pair them with leaders and subcommittees, because I think we're all in agreement, if we don't have somebody who agrees to do the work, then it's sort of not very promising that that's something we will actually achieve. Would you agree that that's a good course of action? Okay. So points 1 to 6, just there, because we have new members, to remind everybody the things we have to do. That's not a discussion. It's, well, I mean, we love to do it, but so we have the building permits and site reviews, which come to us when there is a tree removal involved. That's mandatory. The review of new landscaping plans, according to the new planning manager, is not mandatory. It's something the town wants us to do, or is happy for us to do. Then we have to review the tree removal, or the tree removal permits, what the town is very happy for us to do. And then this is, I think, new to all of us. There are actually 2 mandatory code sections where we will look at erosion control and this 25% of the front yard. And we're not going to discuss this today. This is just for your information. When this comes up, we'll look at it closer. In all the years I have been here, we have not actually had a single application for that.
I
It
think
might
we
come.
haven't been called directly for erosion control, but we actually build that into our site visits sometimes.
Yes, for private
Oh,
land.
so-
Yeah. This is for
Oh, non-residential.
non-residential.
Got it.
So
Okay.
Marianne, you've lost me then. So you said items 1 through 6 are required by the town. Then you said, or they're requested by the town. And now you said 4 and 5, we're not going to discuss, but they're something that none of us actually knew about. So they're not actually even included specifically.
No, they're required by the town. We just
Can I
didn't know.
finish my sentence,
Oh,
please?
sorry.
Madam Chair. They're not listed specifically in our charter.
They're in the code.
Forget it.
Okay.
And the code says that it's a committee responsibility?
According to our planning director. The code says it's a committee responsibility.
Okay, we should check that.
We should check that, yeah. Then, number two, the town open space oversight. We know this is requested at town council. We're happy to do it. My question is, who is the lead now on that? Is that Judy? Is that Nona? Who is the lead?
I think it's a subcommittee.
Okay,
Well, there are separate subcommittees for the separate spaces. So I would say that I'm the lead for the overall. In
okay,
other wo- When we do a report that includes more than a few of them in some sort of conglomerate way, then I would do that. But we have separate subcommittee for each of the 5 important spaces. Actually, for Triangle Park, we don't.
Okay.
It's in abeyance because there's nothing much to do.
Yeah.
But-
that's a very good point.
So maybe we should review right now. 'Cause
Let's
I think we
review
can
this.
do it quickly. Who's what?
So, first of all, Spring Down. That I think is Nona. Are you the lead on Spring Down, Nona?
I think so.
So-
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so too. If you're happy, then you're
Yeah.
the lead. And then we have
Town Center,
Town Center.
and Megan's the head of that.
That's Megan. Let's ask Megan if she is happy. How do we get Megan?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, so Megan, that's fine. And then we have,
Frog Pond,
Frog Pond. And the question I have, we have now 2 members. Would you want Sarah to do that? So she gets sort of running?
Yeah, I mean, I can portray, I mean, it's not.
it's a subcommittee, so it's just
Yeah.
taking the lead,
Yeah.
and then you'll have
Yeah.
several other people with
I-
you.
I'd like to volunteer for that and trade off Spring Down for another
Okay,
Frog Pond.
all right.
If,
So,
I mean, for, which one are we talking about? Ford? Did you say Ford?
no, we're talking about
Okay,
Frog
Frog.
Pond.
Sorry.
We're not yet at Fort Sorry, sorry.
I don't
So
want that.
maybe as we do this, we should say not just the lead, but who's on the subcommittee.
Okay.
So everybody's clear.
Okay, so on the Spring Down, it's Nona, Judy, and Marianne.
So, wait a second. Sorry, you lost me. I'm sorry.
We're going back to Spring Down.
Okay.
Nona the lead, Marianne and Judy, subcommittee members. Then we have the town center, Megan the lead. Who is on the committee? Megan, do you know?
Nona and Judy.
That's what
Nona
I
and
think
Judy,
so too.
thank you. Then we have the Frog Pond. Sarah and Judy, okay. Sarah is the lead. And then we have Ford Field. And Nona, you want to be the lead now on that?
Yeah, so I'd
Gita
like
is
to
on-
give up Spring Down to somebody else. No, I think someone else should be the
Then
lead
I'll
on
take it.
Spring
I'll
Down.
take Spring Down. Okay, I'll take Spring Down.
Are you saying you'll stay on the subcommittee, but you don't want to be the lead, or you want off that altogether?
Well, I just don't think I should be the lead.
No,
If
I'm fine,
that
I'm
can
just-
be helpful, I'm
One-
happy,
Okay.
but there's enough people to
Okay.
go around, sort of.
Judy, would you rather want to be the lead on
I would
Spring Down?
not want to be the lead.
Okay,
I'm
that's
happy
what I
to stay on the subcommittee, but,
Does somebody else want to come on the Spring Down subcommittee? We have an open, I mean, we could add one more person.
I mean, I'll be on it if no one else
Yeah,
wants
yeah.
to.
Okay,
Okay.
we can play along. I don't think there will be that much work in the first quarter anyway. Now we're going to Fort Field, where you want to be the lead now. Dieter is on it. Who else is on it? We would like to have a third person.
Chris?
You, okay, so then we have Sarah. Triangle Park, I don't think we need a subcommittee, and that's it then. We don't,
Rosati Field was one. from I believe.
there is no.
But
open
there's
space.
nothing to do, so no.
And the little part on Shady Trail, we don't really do there because it's too small. Okay, so that's it then. All right, so we got that taken care of. And then Judy, you have the overall lead on that.
Yeah.
Look at your leadership, whatever you're doing. Okay,
I do think it should be called open space maintenance oversight.
Yes.
not maintenance, no,
Well, whatever you,
find another word. Not maintenance. What's a better word for maintenance?
Didn't we rename our reports maintenance?
No, we left out the word
Management. We call it
Management.
okay, management.
Management, it's important.
For some bureaucratic reason, I can't remember what it had. to do
It's a
with
budget
funding
issue.
and yeah.
Okay.
Management.
Management, okay, thank you. The open space management. All right. So we're done with that. Everybody happy? Everybody know what to do? And as there are visits, it's not really, we unfortunately can't pull you in, otherwise we would love to pull you in. All right, now the next one, lobby to get the fence reviews assigned to committee. I think we might want to put this on the back burner. How does everybody feel about doing this? Okay, Teresa says no. How do the others feel?
Well, we worked really hard on having it, getting it ready. So the question is, what happens to it next? The next step would be taking it to ASCC.
Yeah,
And
so,
that doesn't require much of anything because we're already ready. It just
no, I'm sorry. No, that's not what we're talking. The fence permits, not the fence permit, the fence, the existing.
Oh, got it.
So that's what it is.
Yes, I understand. Sorry. Well, are there,
We have
it
done
would
two,
hinge on whether there are several of us who would love to do the
I would-
fence permits. So you would like to
I
do
would,
it.
but I just don't know if I have support.
Is there anybody else in the committee that would like to help Mary Ann do that?
Is there anybody else who would
Well,
like to help
this is-
Mary
would
Ann?
that, might that be something you could plug
We
into?
already saw you.
Is that of any interest?
Okay, Chris?
Don't do it unless it's something you're interested in.
Yeah, if you're interested in it.
Okay, well, and Teresa, you said?
Teresa
Oh.
doesn't want it, but that's okay.
I
Teresa-
didn't think
That's
so.
all right. We heard you, Teresa.
Okay.
Is there a third person who would be interested in looking at that? We might not need one, but if there is somebody else, Dieter, would you be, no, not fence permit.
I think Megan would be great.
Oh, Megan,
if Available.
Megan, would you be interested?
I'm not interested right now, no.
Okay. Okay, so it's Chris and I, and we will see.
We might do it as, well, I was going to say, you could do it as experiment, except if you really work to get the town to assign it to us, then we have to do it well.
So,
We
Let me-
can't just say,
let
oh,
me-
we decided we don't. want to."
yeah, let me quickly give you some insight what happened this year. We were involved in two fence permits. The first one, when one of the town planner called me, it was maybe 6 months ago or 8 months ago, it was a perimeter fence on Goya. And I immediately, she had already approved it. And then she said, oh, Marianne, can you look at this? Can the Conservation Committee look at this? And I know the property, and I immediately said, this is more than 20% hillside. You cannot even have a fence there. And then we worked a little bit more together, and she then went out to the applicant, explained that an error was made, explained what they can't do. And the applicant said, oh, no problem. I'm not going to have a perimeter fence. I'm just going to have a small fence for my dogs. So this was a real nice success story. And that's why I think we should sort of lobby that we get involved, because like with the trees, we are not the cops, but we sometimes are very persuasive with our arguments.
Might we be able to find a way to do it informal for a while, since you have a connection with planning, just to ask them if they would pass on to us any that they're
No,
not
I d-
totally
I
clear
don't
with?
think that works now, because
Okay.
now, we have a town manager, we have a town
Mhm.
planning director. This now has to go absolutely above,
But as
just
with,
because there was nobody there.
as the way the tree permits used to be written, it would be, they would pass them to us if they needed it. And we got them to send them all to us. So this could be set up so that they would contact us unless it was a slam dunk easy one and they
Okay.
were sure. And that way we could start doing it, see how it went. And then if it goes well and we have valuable input and they appreciate it, and with the manpower to do it, we could ask to make it to shift it over the same way we asked to have the tree permit thing changed.
Would you be willing to come as a third person on this, as you have such good ideas?
Well, that was a bureaucratic idea, not a. Sure, for a while.
Okay, for a while. Okay, because
I
three
think
people
this
would
is-
help.
I mean, let's think of it as an experiment.
An experiment. I like your idea. And actually, Judy, would you?
No, you
Okay,
are the one
fine.
who's enthusiastic about this. I think you should be the lead.
All right. Then tip of the month. As you know, tip of the month and what's blooming now, Catherine did a fantastic job. I have been trying. This is not my strength. Last month, Megan did a fantastic tip of the month. And so I was going to ask Megan, would you be prepared? I can help to take on the tip of the month.
I think that when we talked, Marianne, we discussed that I will kind of take it on with your assistance for a few months as a trial run, and then we'll revisit.
Good. Okay. All right.
Is that something Eliza could do?
Yeah, I'm happy to help with that. Oh, okay. And Eliza to help. Perfect. Perfect.
And then, because there's that library of older ones you can draw on also.
Very good. Very good.
Like you're just in
So-
Deepwater every month.
Megan, who is the lead on this then?
On tip of the month,
Mhm.
I can be the lead.
Okay, perfect. And then what's blooming now? Nona did fantastic. What's blooming now? And the question I have, would you be,
Yeah, I'm willing to do that. I actually suggested Gary elliptica today, silk tassel.
oh,
As
great.
for
So
this
you,
month.
you are, it's,
Yeah.
it's yours then.
Yeah.
You don't
and
even need
Megan
any help.
agreed. Megan thought that was okay. so-
Okay, perfect. So we got that it's resolved. Kudos, Judy, I'm not sure. Do you want to continue kudos or do you want to put them on the shelf? Okay,
Haven't done it well. And we have a hard time some months coming up with anything. So
Yeah,
I think
okay.
that tip and blooming are really important. The community values them. I think the kudos we did thinking it was a good idea and maybe it's like,
I think.
so
that
let's
sounds
not.
Okay, then we have what are the frogs doing now? Judy is doing
I'm
that.
happy to do that. It's not a monthly thing. It's like 3 times a
Obviously.
year, sort of, what are they getting ready to do? What are they doing? And now
Yeah.
where are they now that they're not?
And I'm offline, Judy, I will try if I can get you to use the Conservation Committee email. It might not be possible. Gmail is now so
I
weird.
try, I tried it
I know.
before and then I couldn't get back to mine
Yeah,
for,
I know.
for months. I
It
was
might
just
not be,
there.
but maybe Chris can, offline, maybe.
Okay,
I'm
it's a
always-
tech, it's a tech thing.
IT.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the annual approval, Teresa graciously agreed to be the lead, correct?
Yeah.
She's really excited.
Oh, she's not.
Teresa, I will send you from years gone by when I was doing that. I have a whole long checklist thing that would help you get started.
And I'll send you addresses and then you can choose the ones you like. Okay. So, so the broom pool, then, so items 9, 10, and 11. So the promote habitat preservation, wildlife corridors, wildlife friendly fencing, the proposed ordinance, the backyard habitat, and then the educational idea of using existing apps to pull in the residents to learn more about their backyard habitat is, I think, generally one overlying or overarching topic. And so the first thing I would like to go to 11, to revive backyard habitat program. And I would like to ask Chris if he wants to run this, and I can give you all the details. It will be easy to run. And then you will have a subcommittee who then goes out and looks at the land that it applies to what we think a backyard habitat should be, but we need somebody who leads it.
Problem we've had hasn't been that there's been nobody on the committee willing to do it. It's been that we haven't had any applicants. So that's a
Oh,
problem. that-
okay, I have an answer to that. The reason we haven't had any applicants is because I have a list of potential applicants which
Mhm.
have to be
Contacted.
contacted,
Okay.
and I haven't done that. And that would be something Chris would do. And I can give you the list. They are mainly in Westridge. They are beautiful, beautiful properties. I don't see why people wouldn't, other than for maybe privacy reasons. Okay, so Chris would be the lead, right? You're the lead of that. And then we need a few people to go out then and look at the lay of the land. And who is prepared to do that on his subcommittees? Dieter has already his hand up. Anybody else? I will certainly do it. I always like going out. Anybody else?
Well, that's three of you. So,
Great. Well, we could be four.
yeah, I could do that.
Okay, and
Or I
Juliet,
could be
because, you
the,
know, somebody might not have time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that done. And now coming back to 9 and 10.
I think one of the problems with 9 is it's sort of it's a generic idea. It's like, that's great, but what does it mean? What's the task? What's the program? So it's easy to say, it's not easy to do, but it's easy to say, I'll lead Broompool. But this one is a harder thing to understand what you're taking on as the lead. So I found the other things are very specific and this one's very broad. So it's,
Okay, then let's do 10 before we do 9. So
that one also is very, very broad.
actually, in my mind, clear. So I'll try to convey that clarity I seem to have in my mind. What I'm picturing is to research the apps, and I actually got something from Konstantin. He gave me an app. I haven't done anything about it yet. I can't even tell you the name. I can look it up if you want to. So first of all, it needs a leader. And then it needs a subcommittee that will look at the existing apps, reach out maybe to the schools and see what they're using, and get in touch with Konstantin and his hikes, because the hikes would be a good idea, pulling in people with the app. You know, you have what bird is that, or what flower is that? And then step by step with the PV forum or however we do it, pulling in more and more residents and getting excitement.
So I think it's a great idea. I think the looking at the apps is a time-consuming, complicated detour that isn't really necessary, because the people who are into this have an app they use. They either use iNaturalist, or they use the bird one, or they use, the DC Botanical Garden one. And so they've got their app. They know how to do it. They've already got a history. They work it easily. If they go out on the hike and identify, they're going to use their app. So
Okay.
I think the search, this is just me, but I think the search to come up with an app and say, in order to participate in this, you have to use this app. You
That's
have
not
to
what
use
we're
our
saying.
app.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's not what we're saying. The people who have an app are easy, but there will be people who don't have an app, and then we need to tell them, use any of those.
Okay, so,
That's where I'm.
oh yeah,
coming.
you can make a short list of
Yeah, Chris, do you
3
have
or something
something that you were next to?
super quick. Yeah.
I'm happy to take it. Like with most of these, I don't really know if they are in detail. But I'm happy to talk to whoever I need to understand it. We don't know
Okay,
to create something.
perfect. So we have Chris the lead. There is a helper. I probably would like to, because it's my baby. I might then sort of, bail out, but I think at the beginning, I would like to be part of it. And maybe, how many do we have now?
3.
Do we have one more? Nona, would that be something that interests you? No. Sarah? No? Okay. I'm sorry, say again. Yeah, but that's okay. That wouldn't exclude you. We'll start, and maybe we can then, get more excitement going.
Well, as you get into things where you have a specific something, say, let's do this, who wants to help do this? That's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you think
Chris-
of yourself as the
Sorry.
overarching
I'll-
thing. Yeah.
Would it be okay, can I, since I'm brand new, are there some of you who have opinions on this that I could talk with offline just to get my head around it of what we're trying to do?
Yeah, we just have to be careful of Brown Act things where you only talk to a couple of them.
What,
Less than four.
okay,
So you can, we can't send email to everybody.
I could reach out to you one at a time.
You actually, as you're coming on the committee, you should make sure there's a little thing, or do they send it to automatically to everybody who's new on the committees? They should. Somewhere there's a thing that's exactly what the Brown Act is, and you have to be careful about it or you'll get your fingers slapped. Right. Handbook,
So that's why we have
sure,
committees.
because I was on
Maybe-
that subcommittee. and
Maybe
had
what we
nothing
could
done.
do, Chris, when we have a subcommittee, if we're three, we could have one more person. So maybe you could invite Nona to one of them and pick her brain. And then maybe,
No,
Sarah.
no, no, you
What?
can't do
We're
that.
four. It's not,
It's a serial more
Oh.
than a daisy chain.
so what can we do?
4 committed people and it's theirs and they bring it to the committee.
And if they need to get more information,
They come to the committee
okay, well, we're working.
or
on it.
they do homework or they talk to a councilman. They can't talk to another committee. If they
But
could,
it's great to have them just present to the committee and
Yeah, I
then we
mean,
all discuss.
Okay, so that would work.
But that happens here.
Yeah, it would happen here. That's a big.
but you're asking for a little guidance as you
it's working
start.
for guidance.
And I would say
Yeah, I-
that if you limit it to 3 other people, then have at it.
I'll just ask the dumb questions, maybe and get them out of the way. So based on the last one I saw on this one, this doesn't seem necessarily like a big discussion forum. It seems like let's get to the agenda forum. From what I understand, I can talk to 3 other people on the committee about this, but not more or else I
You're-
violate the Brown Act.
Your subcommittee, those 3 other
Got it.
people, not random.
But I could
3
talk to anyone else who's not on the committee,
Perfect.
not you. So, okay.
Okay, that will work.
So
That will
one of
work.
your tasks is to read the Brown Act.
And then,
I've taken that action.
and for example, Konstantin Gericke, we could have him as a guest on the subcommittee. He's not, and he's very interested in, he's running the hikes. And he is the one who, I'll send you the email, who has an app he recommended, here's the way looked into it. So that would be definitely a person you want to put this there.
So Marianne, can we?
Yes, okay. Okay, our timekeeper is keeping time. All right, and now coming back to 9. We actually have an existing subcommittee of Megan, Nona, Judy, and I, who have been doing the fence ordinance, and why don't we keep it that way? Does somebody want to take the lead? Would somebody like to take the lead this year? Otherwise, I'll do it. I'm just good in setting up meetings. That's really,
You do it.
Okay,
I'm
I'll do
happy to
it.
still keep helping.
okay, okay. So then we got that done. And we're jumping to 12. Unless somebody else thinks they can do a better job, I'm prepared to keep doing the town website.
Okay,
No taker, I'll keep it. Then the rodenticide-free PV, I would like to recommend that Nona heads up that subcommittee. I'm happy to be on that.
Okay.
So
I'm
maybe.
kind
you,
of thinking,
Tara, and
yeah, I'm kind of thinking that we might broaden it to biocides. Because we recently did the herbicide rate issue too, and as far as I know, the committee doesn't really have a policy on herbicides yet, and it might be worth us
Good idea.
thinking about that.
So you'll be the lead and Sarah and Eliza.
Okay.
Perfect. So we got that. This is going faster and better than I thought. Item 14.
I think we should drop it.
No, I agree. So we're dropping that. Liaisons to school district. So Nona and I have had a really good meeting. And I think we should continue that because they offered to invite us to do some, whatever.
And Yogi had been doing it more or less. I mean, he already was doing.
Well, I think we would like to change that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Because I think in some ways, the most appropriate people to do that are the frog, are the folks who are on the
I know, but
frog pond
there's,
committee.
there's,
Because
I think, well, Nona, what do you think?
I actually think the Frog Pond Committee is really important in that.
So maybe
Mm.
we'll do a four, us four.
I
the
think
frog
we
pond
could-
committee is currently Sarah, me.
So,
Yogi,
so we
and-
had feedback. And so I don't know how, it's difficult to say, but there seems to be, I can't really explain it. Uh,
Or what the issue is. I can tell you that I had agreed to follow up with them on some issues of herbicide use.
Right.
And so I did contact the Habitat Conservation Program at Stanford, since they manage Piper salamander ponds and red-legged frog. And so I'm going to see if one of them would like to walk the grounds with us with the operations manager. 'Cause we can tell them a lot, but it makes a difference if it's a wetland specialist
Certainly.
who conveys that information.
Yeah, the
That's-
impression I had from the principal, this is not just about the frog pond. This is about going forward, having a good relationship with the conservation committee and getting, working together and getting feedback, not about the frog pond, about general stuff. And she was so motivated when she met with the two of us, and she seemed to be so positively surprised or whatever it was, that I would like to continue that dialogue. And it has nothing to do with the frog pond. It's a general interaction.
Well, yeah, why don't you take it over for all the schools in Portola Valley? And let's see if
Oh.
you have more success with that than we had with her, because she was all over helping us and.
Yeah, no, we,
that
we,
input.
I had no idea
Better
that
than-
we didn't have a good relation. We've met with
Yeah,
her on and
couple of
off. We've
times,
talked
yeah.
about things. We've given her suggestions. She's asked us about stuff. We've told her, given it back, but
Can we keep it as it is and table it for the time
Okay.
being? I think this is more complicated
okay.
than what we can handle today. Okay. Then liaison to other committees. So trails, Teresa, you want to keep it? You
I'm,
love that committee.
I'm happy to
Okay.
keep going to trails, but I'm not, fine.
Okay. Open space, Nona. Public works, who would like to take on to work with public works?
That, it's not really a committee. I think that falls under, you and I are already meeting
Okay.
with Darcy and
Okay,
Robert.
so you and I,
That's,
Woodside Fire. Okay.
the
The-
fire
the-
committee or would,
No, Woodside Fire. So we have been working with Kim, the fire marshal, quite a bit in 2025. We've been, you and Megan have been writing stuff for her.
Yeah, but we have a liaison to the Wildfire Preparedness Committee. And I think that
But
those
it's
are
me
kind
then.
of overlapping
right.
roles, so.
Okay,
And who is that?
me. All right. ASCC, I'll,
I can do that.
no,
if
I
you
keep,
want.
no, I
You
want
want
to
to?
keep that, yeah. And do we have anything else? Any other committee we need to consider working with?
Maybe nature and science, if they're going to be doing wildlife stuff too, then we should be inviting them to participate with us and help out. For example, next thing up is Broompool. We should maybe go to them and say,
Okay.
here's
So,
Broompool.
so let me understand what we're doing here, Marianne. I thought these were our committee priorities for 2026, right?
Yes,
So now you're saying you want to start adding more cross-committee attendance, et cetera, for these other committees, just in case?
no, it's what we do in, what we are going to do in 2026 and what resources we have who are prepared to do it in 2026. Judy, would you
I'm
prepare?
sorry, I did suggest an added one just because they haven't been in the picture before.
They haven't
and
been in the
if
picture.
our
Yeah.
sort of keeping ties with other
Yeah.
active
Judy,
committees.
would you want to do that?
I can do that.
Okay. Nature and
Nature and
science. All right. And with that, are there any other thoughts of what we should be doing in 2026, which maybe I overlooked?
So,
Yes.
something relating to trails that I believe will come up. And I'm not sure how much this committee wants to be involved in it, but will involve because of the Coal Mine Ridge trails that are, the land is actually, part of that is owned by the Portola Valley Ranch Association. And so we've been interacting with them last year about the clearing that they do on the side of the trail and how far that should be, how many feet, and et cetera. We were going to have more discussion with them this year, possibly next month. And I don't know whether that's something, then could be part of this trails liaison. Is that something that you feel this committee should be involved in? I'm certainly involved because I love ranch, trails, but, should we be involved as a committee?
No, no, I don't. Tell me again, what would you see our role?
So our concern is they basically weed whack down plants that are just about to flower or are still flowering, native plants. And then sometimes they go very, right down to the dirt
Okay.
and cause them.
The they is Public Works. Yeah.
And things like
Okay. So Sarah, this has come up. This would be a Public Works. This is something that not necessarily you would discuss with the Trail Committee, but with the people who are managing, the people who are doing, so it's Public Works.
Yes, I
So-
know, but what we did last year was kind of both. I went via the Fred, the Trails Committee, and he looped in Public Works, and we had a discussion that way.
So Sarah, every year Trails makes a pointed effort to identify which trails should be the last to be addressed for that express purpose. And they do have a discussion about it every year. So, and the discussion is with the Public Works representative to say, do this one last because of the wildflowers and be mindful. So, to your point, Mary Ann. I'm not
Well, it
sure.
sounds like Trails is already handling it.
Sounds like it.
Okay, so I will just personally still be involved because of the.
Yeah.
time, But we won't as a committee. Great.
Yeah.
And then if something, the only thing I can say is if something comes up, it seems like it's not getting enough thumb on it. You could let us know because we're going to be meeting with Darcy and the Public Works guy quarterly
Yeah.
or so.
Yeah.
And
Then we can bring it up.
we could emphasize it, but I think that doesn't sound like it's necessary. I think you guys, you have a subcommittee. I mean, you have a working group, I guess I would call it. It's addressing
I think
that
there's
with the
anxiety.
important people on it.
Our landscape committee.
Right,
Um,
so I think we'd
yeah.
sort of be stepping on Trails' toes if we added ourselves in, unless Trails wants, somebody more biological involved to do it, but it doesn't sound like they do. I mean, it's a simple enough problem. These, don't cut those flowers now, cut them later. And I think the more specific.
It's actually not simple, and it does get a fair amount of discussion because those contracts are set up well in advance and there's very little flexibility. It's not a simple issue. I would highly encourage participation. If there's something specifically you want raised, I'm happy to do it, and I don't have a problem with somebody else from the committee also participating. Or if you would be more comfortable to be the ongoing liaison, that's okay with me too.
Yeah, we can discuss this offline.
Sure.
how-
Figure out the-
Fred
Fred mentioned putting it on the next agenda and the next meeting is canceled.
Right.
So we need,
So that, right.
And I didn't mean simple in terms of making it happen. I know, we know exactly what this problem is because we have it at Springdale. It's exactly the same problem. We know it needs doing. The timing varies, and so it's hard to get it done right. Yeah. But if Public Works is doing it, but they're probably not
Okay,
now, they're
okay.
shipping it all out, I would guess. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Now, before we move away from all these 2026 issues, I just want to mention something, and I sent it out to you earlier. I made a list of how many significant tree removal applications we had this year, and we had actually 37. And that's, I don't think you are aware of that. That's a lot of work. And then I also made a list of the site reviews or the requests we had, and those were 26. And that's quite a lot too. And I gave everybody an example of a site visit, and that's, you know, like a four-page report. We have a template for the new members, but we follow that template. And I also sent you a example of a tree report. This one is only 2 pages, but it's quite substantial. So this in itself is a huge amount of work the committee did in 2025. And I would like to say a big thank you to everybody. Not forgotten. Okay.
Marianne,
Yes.
is the committee planning to have, sponsor a lecture or participate in any of the town picnics or anything like that? Or-
Yes, I think we certainly want to have a table, as we always do, if it's at the town picnic, if it's Earth Day, any of these events. Yes, we will participate. But we need to decide this maybe
I
a
think
quarter
that-
earlier.
Yeah, I think that comes under the Roman numeral 9 above, where we're promoting via education, et cetera. That it's the individual things come up through the year and we do them sort of under that heading.
So let's put table, how would we call this? Let's add that. This is actually,
Table, but would you put it as a separate thing? Or you- or do you
Yeah,
want to put it Under 9,
It's already there. It's public outreach.
right,
It's right there under item 9.
yes.
what
That
nine?
is public-
Numerical, Roman 9?
Roman numeral 9.
Okay, all right.
It's just part of what we,
Public outreach. Okay, fine. But we will have to keep in mind that we planned this a little bit earlier than in the past, because otherwise it's always Teresa and Nona who are there in the morning, and Judy, and I sometimes, I race less. I used to race on the weekend. Now I can help more. It's always the same people, but now we have new people, and hopefully we can spread the load. Oh, and Dieter, let's not forget Dieter. Yes. It's Dieter, that's because you're not sitting next to me. So you see, the further away you are, the less you get mentioned. Okay, all right. One last question. Rebecca, do you have anything that you would like us to see doing?
Only if you're planning to sponsor a lecture.
So I am, we have discussed to do another mountain lion lecture. And we have pushed it to, certainly not in the first quarter. I think we said we might be
we've
doing.
done them in the fall. When
in
we've
the
had lectures in
fall.
the past, we've done them.
We would be happy to do a lecture, but it has to be prepared really well. We only want first-class lecturers. And we will need a resolution in the town hall that at the moment doesn't have a microphone, AV, what have you.
Well, the chair of the arts, cultural arts, has said that she's willing to lend her audiovisual equipment for a lecture series. We had a discussion with them, and they're thinking that maybe the second Friday of the month might be a good date to kind of coalesce behind, so that various committees who want to sponsor a lecture, if you could do it on that date, the second Friday of some month, then it would make it much easier for staff and support and whatever. And then we could kind of block out that time for the
Okay.
multipurpose rooms.
It's
So,
actually
how
it's
is
a great
every-
idea. I
How are you
think that's a
feeling
great
about,
idea.
I mean,
Because one of the things we struggle with is when should we do it, how do we do it? So if somebody's setting up something routine and we could just say, we'll take September,
yeah,
then.
that's kind of the idea, just so that
Yeah.
everybody in town would know, just like Woodside has their
Yeah.
first Friday.
this is great.
Actually, no, I think we'd be the third Friday, sorry. Did I
Yeah.
use that? The third Friday of the month.
Okay.
Be the idea. So then even they've actually, the First Friday people over at Woodside, they have a huge organization that's devoted to that.
Really?
Yes, they have a big budget. They have a whole team, I don't know, like 15 people that do only that. Every month they have, they're setting it up themselves. They're not using the various committees in town. We're doing it a little bit differently, but they're actually willing to help us a bit.
Okay.
Get it off
But
the ground.
cultural arts is willing to do a lot of the work and then we plug
they're
in
not-
for our particular thing.
They're a tiny little
Okay.
committee with
Right.
too many other things going
Mhm.
on. They're willing to do an event themselves on a third Friday. So the idea would be that every committee who wants to do an event, we could all just, calendarize them essentially, and you'd have 1 month.
And but they'll provide the AV and the
Yeah,
setup and all that stuff.
provide the actual equipment.
Who is she?
That-
Who is she?
The chair, Ivy Margolius.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. her title.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I think we would like to do an event,
Let's-
September or so.
We'll talk about this some other
Yeah,
time.
let's talk about it another time. Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on to item number 5. Judy, take it away.
Marianne and I had a meeting with Darcy and Robert, the Public Works guy, where we delivered the plant management plans that we all, worked on so hard, long. They were very happy with them. They thought they were great. They were, I think, a little surprised to see how good they were. And they started asking us about other things we might do immediately, of course. The one thing that came up there was, they'd been expressing a lot of concerns about the liability of volunteers did things. And we really lobbied hard on that and talked about the history of the broom pull, et cetera. So they checked with the lawyers, they got the waiver updated and we got the okay to do the broom pull. So that's all now set and legal and they're not worried about it in the same way they were before. So that was the major coup of the delivering these plans at last. That's it.
It's actually interesting. I realized Darcy was at every committee meeting except at ours. I guess she thinks she is in with us, doesn't it? So, okay, then Megan, do you have an idea for the tip of the month? A suggestion?
I do not have an idea. Does anyone have a suggestion for me?
Anybody? Tip of the month?
Weeds, all the little weeds are coming up. Seedlings. Now's the time. if
Early
you can-
seed suppression?
you
Early,
just,
early.
we have
weed
in, we
suppression?
have in the files, the thing that Paul did, with the little, Paul and Dieter put together all the.
Yeah.
The pictures of the little tiny, so you can
have
identify
that.
the nasties when they're only this big, which most of us can't.
Megan, you want to do that with me? I'll get the stuff.
Yeah, sure. If you can share this
Okay.
copy.
Yeah, okay. What's blooming? Nona, you already have an idea? Okay.
It's not so easy to find it, but
Right.
it's outside Chest Village too. Is the bush poppy, Dimple Mekong is in bloom. And the manzanitas are just blazing, different varieties.
Okay. All right, I'll leave that up to Nona. Don't have any kudos. This is
No, kudos are
Frogs,
gone. I
frog, you
sent-
just,
I sent you that thing today.
you sent to say the thing went out. We already talked, there is no update on committees, I think. at the moment.
Except,
Is
let
there?
me say that here, I think it's important. I think we need to talk a little bit about Broompool. This is the obvious place
Okay,
to put it in. We need to choose a date now. There's a lot that needs doing in the next couple of months. And it starts with knowing what the date is. So we've traditionally done it, we've done the first Sunday in March. Isn't that what we've done?
what's the date?
So I'm just looking now. First Saturday in March, Saturday or Sunday? What do we do? Mm. Well, then maybe when are you back?
When are you back, Teresa?
So the next 14? Did we do it Saturday or Sunday? I think we did it Saturday too.
How about we pull it forward? If she's in Hawaii.
No,
she
no,
can't-
no, she should be here if she's. part
No,
of it.
if she is that whole week before not here, who is going to take up the slack?
That's what we're doing right now. We won't do it then.
Okay.
You're home sometime the weekend before, so you've got at least several days. Most of the organization doesn't get done those last few days. It gets done after that. So Saturday, March 14.
Okay,
That's the main thing. And then just
and then, yeah,
Teresa will take care
Teresa
of
can
putting
plan
various of us in charge of
around it,
various
yeah.
parts. Yeah.
The one update I will give you, remember we offered to help the fire marshal with with a program. I've sent her 3 emails, but I don't think she has seen either one of them. She gets 100 emails per day. So I will probably see her on Thursday at the Emergency Preparedness Committee, and I'll bring it up afterwards and back. Because I
Or
think,
she asked you to send them with flagged as VIP in some way, and I don't know how to do.
I don't know either. I'll ask her. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so there's just no update on that. And let me just double check if there was anything else. No. Teresa, do you have an update, anything on trail?
No meetings have occurred.
Nothing has happened. And I haven't done anything with the booklet. Remember, I was going to get a link to the booklet of the Fire Safe Marin with the beautiful pictures of landscaping between 0 to 5 or 10 to 100. Remember? It's in the minutes. No, it's under committee and townwide cooperation. Okay, so I'll just do that. And I assume you don't have an update on Frog Pond. There's nothing to tell. Yeah, I didn't think so. All right. Okay. Yeah. So looking at the time, we don't seem to have to have a discussion about the duration of the meeting. Oh, then let's have a discussion.
Of course, that's important, isn't it? Thank you. We do lots of meaningful work. And if we want to have shorter meetings, there has to be more autonomy for the subcommittees. The subcommittees need to be given responsibility. They spend a lot of time, the ones I'm on mostly, and spend a lot of time, do a lot of research, figure it out, bring something back to the committee. It needs to, most of the things need to be discussed by the committee as a whole because it needs approval by the committee as a whole. But sometimes it comes back to the committee and then we get into this very detailed examination of every little thing about it as if the subcommittee just sort of sat down and wrote this thing out. So there's a balance in there somewhere of having the committee as a whole do things and the subcommittees being able to do their work and have the other people who weren't interested enough to be on this committee, didn't do a lot of homework, don't know as much about it probably, sort of overcorrecting, I would say sometimes.
Derailing sometimes, yeah.
And then it goes on and on and on, and we have 3 meetings about it instead of 1 or 2. I'm not saying it shouldn't be discussed as a whole, because I feel very strongly it should be discussed as a whole. But there's somewhere in there where there's got to be a balance.
I think I fully agree with you on that. You have a
Yeah,
question.
the question, I'm having missed the last meeting, I don't know what's there. So what's the time options we have? 1 hour, 90
No,
minutes?
no, okay. So there are 2 members on the committee who feel that the meeting should be shorter. The rest doesn't feel the meeting need to be shorter. So that's the start.
Shorter than.
Well, okay. That's one possibility. I actually think I try to talk less. If I talk less, this will be a little bit shorter. I can take that responsibility, and it's working today. Okay, so I'm improving. There is no, our meeting does not have to be only 1 hour. Our meeting can be as long as we as a committee feel it needs to be. And while I agree with Judy that sometimes we talk too much, particularly with the fence ordinance, and we were going whatever, it is still, in my opinion, very important to actually spend the time so that everybody is in the picture. And I think for that, the meeting just needs to be as long as it is.
That's why we don't want to take on too many tasks, so that we can have meetings. If we have 19 things that we have to talk about in an evening, then we can't talk about any of them in any depth. So if we've honed down what we're going to do, then we should be able to do it. So I think it's reasonable to say we don't want to have 4-hour meetings, obviously.
No.
And 3 hours would be a stretch, and nobody would like that. But if we often go to 2, I think it's very unlikely we can do a good job if we have 1-hour meetings. I think we should assume that our meetings are going to be closer to 2 hours, so that we don't all feel, get super antsy after the
Yeah.
first hour goes by.
So let me ask, who here would be okay with having, when it's needed, 2-hour meetings?
I think that is not the point, and it has not been the point. The point has been that we are not disciplined about staying on topic. We are not disciplined about not rediscussing things that we've already resolved in the previous 3 or 4 meetings. And we keep bringing them up and having another discussion about them, which is perhaps not the best use of everyone's time. Speaking for myself, I agree that we have issues that are important we need to discuss, but we don't need to discuss 15 important issues at every meeting. I agree with you, Judy. If we need 2 hours on occasion, fine, but we don't need to plan that it's always going to be a 2-hour meeting. We should be more disciplined than that and be able to stay on topic and understand and prioritize appropriately. And it may be that in some instances, we don't go through every single thing on every single agenda. We agree this is of less importance. We really want to spend time and do a deep dive and really think about what we're doing here and how we're spending our time. And I think that is the issue. It's not about arbitrarily saying, do you object to having a 2-hour meeting? I don't think that has ever been the issue.
Okay.
Speaking for myself, as one of the opponents to the excessively long meetings.
Okay. Anybody else who wants to chime in?
Well, where were they?
Very well worded, I think. How long have meetings, as a relative newbie? The ones I've been to have not seemed excessively long, but
They are often,
there have been.
I think they're never more than 2 hours. Teresa, you would know?
We have certainly had meetings that went well over 2 hours.
Oh, no.
I think that the agenda should make clear what's going to be a topic of discussion. And, the agenda is supposed to say, discuss and decide. And so if we have to vote on something, we have to discuss it, and everyone has to have a clearly formed opinion.
Mhm.
So I think it's a matter of just making the agenda clear on which will be the topics that will be discussed.
Okay, we
Yeah,
can
so
certainly do that.
I think, for example, we have committee liaisons. And I think going through the list of, so the Trails Committee liaison, is there anything to say? I think that's sort of wasted language. I think it should say committee liaison, and anyone who has something to say
Right.
from their committee puts up their hand and says it.
Absolutely.
So that we don't spend time.
Yeah.
Because we do spend time on things that are on here. We say, oh, this is on here today, but we're not going to talk about that tonight.
Mhm.
And I think that's, it's only a minute and a half,
Right.
but they,
Yeah.
they not only add up in time, they add up to this sense of,
No, that sounds
yeah.
perfect, yeah. And that, I have already taken out in this year, in this month's agenda, the whole thing, trails, nature, blah, 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 in that anticipation, because I think Teresa brought that up before, and that's a very good suggestion. So it's not on here. Does anybody have something to say? And then we just move on. Nothing on the liaison. We can certainly do that.
and I think to reemphasize what we said last month, where we sometimes go off track is we'll be talking about a specific thing and something ancillary to that'll come up, and suddenly the discussion will go there. And we'll spend a lot of time on something that's either not even something we can do about. Often that happens when the public brings something in, but sometimes we do it to sometimes I do it to us. And I think everybody on the committee should feel free to, right as that starts, put up their hand and say, not our job. Yeah.
Another option
Good
might
point.
be is that we look at the agenda items and see are they or should they be discussed and on the agenda for every meeting, or we say we have once a quarter a meeting where like the tip of the month, what's blooming, we know what's blooming 3 months from now. So we can restructure it that certain items are only discussed on a quarterly basis. And then everybody has time to either submit or comment.
We could certainly do that. That's a very good suggestion. We know what's blooming. Yeah. On the other hand, the what's blooming, it takes almost no time, and it's actually, that input is good. Yeah, because different people see what different things are blooming. It doesn't take much
You
time.
can pick another item. I'll pick that as an example.
Yeah.
Or we go like you said in the beginning here with item Roman 1 is that what are the ones where we have to make decisions at meetings? So if there are site visits or so, that we restructure the agenda, that it's really part 1 has to be done, 2 is optional, and 3 is background.
Now, at the moment, I get pretty much zero input from anybody on the agenda. So, I have that whole load about the agenda. So maybe you guys could help me.
I think it's because when we have a meeting and we talk about things that are doing, we take on jobs and we say, and so there are certain things that are going to come up the next time. So the agenda sort of makes itself from the previous agenda. You just strike off the things that where nothing's pending,
Right.
and you leave the things that are.
Right.
And
Well, that's what I do.
So, right. But I mean, that's
If you
just
don't
a
come-
creative job. And I view your request as, what would you like me to put on the agenda that's new and I don't know about?
That's right.
And so there's rarely anything new that I think needs to be
Okay.
on it. It's really, and so one of the things to do is to look through the minutes, because sometimes when you look at the minutes, there are things we've said we do and they just sort of disappear, they get dropped.
Yeah.
So things that we've said, action items from that should be on the agenda automatically. It's really just a bureaucratic job that the chair has to do, kind of.
Yeah, I know. I know,
And
but I just try to
So, well,
put the blame around.
I'm the vice chair. Would you like me to take over doing the agenda
No.
for a while?
No, no,
Okay.
no. So I think I really like the idea about the discuss and decide. I can certainly build that in, and let's see how that goes. And, we are only at 65 minutes, and we did a lot today. So maybe this is a new point. We'll see. We'll see how it develops. Okay, so we are not going, So, Nona, do you want to talk about the spraying? I sent everybody the report. And please read these reports when I send them to you, because they were not in the agenda package for a reason, okay? They weren't ready or whatever. Not everything goes into the agenda. So Nona, it's you.
I think the only thing I can add is that that's our experience visiting with the school and thinking about herbicide use. I think one thing we learned is that we're not all in the same place on the use of Roundup and other herbicides. So it will be interesting to sort of see if there is a committee consensus on that. The school is unusual in that they are not subject to town authority. And so they are, the school district is its own thing. So our goal there really is to be partners and to encourage them as much as we can to do the most conservation-wise thing that we can recommend. So I think that's all I really need to
Yeah, I
add on.
think what the takeaway I had from the school, because I had no expectations, how willing they were to listen to us and to work with us and to hear our feedback. That was really refreshing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
one thing that's different is
All
they
right.
have a new operations manager. So we met him only over Zoom or over the phone. I guess he was phoning in because he was moving, but he will be the one who walks around that property with us. His name is Jeff something.
Don't remember.
I forgot. But he's new.
Okay. He's new, yeah. Okay. We are not going to discuss, I'm sorry. We are not going to discuss the site permits because we never do. And we're not going to discuss the tree permits. You see the reports, we don't have to go. Yeah, I don't need to say that. Okay. So the next regular meeting is on February 3, if I got the date right. Okay, good. Who knows if they are not here? So we're going to seem to have a quorum. You will not be here. Okay. And let me just see if there are any questions from the. If not, oh,
That's the question. Do all of these things exist somewhere? I mean, like, you want to look at these different templates and things that have been submitted? Are they on a drive?
they exist on my computer.
Got it. Is
And
that because of the Brown Act, or is that? because
No.
of Technology.
we had a Google Drive, but the Google Drive is owned by the previous chair. So we have to figure this out.
Okay,
eventually.
I could help. I'm happy to help whoever needs. help.
I'll work with you. I'll work with you. Oh, that's okay. I have everything. I have the Google Drive. Yeah, but we have somebody who owns this Google Drive. And I don't feel comfortable that we have somebody who owns our Google Drive. We can do that. We'll do it offline. Yeah, okay. So the answer is yes, sort of, and we're working on it. And maybe you can. Okay. If there are no more questions, then we will adjourn the meeting at a rapid 70 minutes.